Hey guys, I'm really sick and I keep saying things that could potentially get me in trouble. Trying to tell you guys the story of how I left my abuser, and I know that that's really screwed up and we need to fix that somehow. But also I'm still kind of afraid of all of it. So I'm going to kind of keep this short and sweet. I hate to do that, but I feel like the more details I put in, the more issues I could have. So the first thing I did when I went to leave my abuser was plan. I didn't do this immediately. I knew for a while the relationship was over, and I knew for a while that he was just going to get worse. So I started planning, and I did tell a few people here and there, like, at some point I'm just going to have to give up and go. There was only maybe 2 people, 3 people in my life that actually knew what was going on, because at the time I was a very private person, but he kind of demanded that we were outwardly social and very happy and energetic, but in truth we were actually all of those things in a fake way, because the reality behind the smile was that I was not a happy person at all, especially in the last couple of years that I was with him. It was so hard to do it, guys. It was so hard to leave. It was hard saving the money knowing that I might have to actually use it for that, and still laying next to him at night and telling him that I loved him and doing all the things that I was supposed to do to be a good girlfriend, whatever, right? So anyway, I did save up maybe $500, maybe, if it was even that much. I'm like overestimating that. And it really wasn't even like saving, it was just like money I could deal without kind of thing. I had just every now and then I would kind of $10 to the side kind of thing. I'm gonna try not to use that. And I did the whole try not to use that money thing for like a really long time. I'm sorry, talking about this gives me anxiety and I keep picking at my nails. So I saw it coming. I so saw it coming. I knew this was gonna happen, and I knew exactly when it was gonna happen. He wanted me to go on a trip with him, and I immediately got a vision, and I was like, ooh, if I go on this trip with him, we're not coming back together. I just knew. And I tried to fight against it the whole time because he was adamant I was going with him. So I went with him. And somehow I embarrassed him at dinner by demasculating him somehow. Which, keep in mind, he loved that I was a bad bitch, tough chick, all that kind of stuff. But I corrected something or whatever. And I get so sick of that, men getting tired that you corrected them. It's like in my head, I'm just adding information to the conversation because I know something. I'm not trying to make you look dumb or demasculate you in any way, you know? But he didn't see it that way, so he tried to kill me with his truck. I know, that sounds so balanced, doesn't it? And that wasn't even the event that made me leave. Like, I was trying so hard, guys. I wanted so bad for it to work. Like, the guy he was outwardly was perfect. Perfect. The person he was on the inside was not. And that outward person was just a mask. That's all it was. Like, that outward person didn't actually exist. I just thought that he existed. Convinced myself of it, actually. So anyway, to get on to the point, I on this trip I was actually trying to save him from getting irritated about something and waking up and getting mad because I knew that we had already had a stressful trip. This whole talking thing isn't helping my voice, so if it starts going in and out, I'm really sorry. I've been sick for like 2 days with this really bad allergy thing that's made my throat like really bad. Anyway, So I had gotten up to try to stop some kids from making some noise outside of our hotel room, right? He woke up and thought that I had come in from being down at the pool and was trying to meet people. And I mean, he just started accusing me of all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm literally crying, just like my suit's not even wet. Like my hair's dry. Like I'm literally trying to give proof. Like I was to the point of just being like, you can go ask the manager for the security cameras. I don't like. I swear I didn't do this. And he reaches over and he grabs his glass on the hotel room table, and it was an actual glass because he was too bougie to use plastic glasses. And he had stolen it from the restaurant because he liked it. God, he really was a dick. Anyway, he takes his glass and he throws it. Boom. And it hits the wall right next to me. Like right next to my head kind of thing. And it was just because he missed. Not because he didn't intend to hit me. And I knew that. And I knew how bad that could have like really fucked up my face, and everything just flashed through my head again. I had that same vision. And I had a single voice in my head, and it just said, go. Very quietly. So I said, you know what? I'm done. And I started to grab my stuff, and he started throwing a fit. He assumed, guys, that he had the upper hand because I was in a different state, I had no vehicle, all that kind of stuff. That's the only reason this worked. I got really lucky. Because I'm not giving you a master plan. I want to make that very clear. I'm just telling you how I did it. Because I get asked this a lot. There is no perfect way for everyone. Everyone's situation is going to be so much different. Me, I said I'm done. I grabbed a few small things because I knew it would make him feel safer if I didn't grab certain things. Like I did not grab my purse. But I grabbed a particular pair of shorts that I knew had my ID and my credit card in it. Because I would keep that separate. Especially when he was like that. Because he had a habit of taking my phone and my purse away from me. And trying to break my phone and keep me without any identification or money. So I grabbed those shorts. I grabbed one little bag. It wasn't my main purse, but it was my snack bag thing. That's right. Grabbed one little bag, because you know you have like a little separate purse sometimes where I don't feel like carrying the whole thing, but I need something. And apparently he was kind of comfortable with how I looked because I didn't even put on a bra. I threw on some sandals. My clothes were like mismatched. I threw a hoodie over me. You know, and I was just like, I'm done. And I walked out the room, and I mean, I walked fast, and he didn't follow me, but he did start blowing up my phone about 10 minutes later. I think he figured that I needed to just cool off and everything, and that I'd be back, because where else was I gonna go? I was in the middle of BFE, okay? And he was almost right. I almost did go back. So many times through the whole getting away part. Because I ran into an adjacent hotel and the manager kept trying to make me leave the lobby because I didn't have a room there, and I just told him, like, look, I just need a place to be for a few minutes. I just need a charger or whatever. And so he told me I couldn't be there. He didn't care, you know. So I was like, okay, and then I waited. I kind of like turned around like I was going to leave, and then he turned around and went to the back area where they sit because they're not always up front. And I came back in very quickly and ducked off into an area. Found a charger. I was like under a table with like a tablecloth thing. Like, it was ridiculous, guys. I found a charger, a port, and I plugged in my charger into it because luckily I did have my phone. So I'm charging my phone. I'm also trying to figure out how I can get away from this area. And I'm sitting there thinking for a little while, like, am I actually going to do this? Am I actually going? all those thoughts that are just saying, look, it'd be so much easier just to go back and baby him and love bomb him and be like, hey, everything's gonna be okay, and pet him and tell him all the things he wants to hear to make him comfortable, right? And then it dawned on me that I was doing that, and I felt fucking ridiculous, and I was like, no, this has to end. So the guy starts trying to find me because apparently he saw on the camera that I'd come back in. The manager, right? So I started tucking through stairwells and elevators and up and down lots of floors and all this stuff back and forth while I'm still on my phone. Literally like playing catch the mouse with this guy. So Expedia is a great resource. It really is. I was able to book a flight pretty quickly for that night. Yes, it was kind of expensive. I spent maybe $300 on the flight, and that was just a one-way flight. And that wasn't no fancy seat or nothing, just give me the cheapest you got kind of thing. Either way, I got a flight booked, and as soon as I hit the button to book it, it was just like, holy shit, I'm doing this. Like, I just spent the money. How am I going to explain it to, you know, I mean, you can't get a refund on it, whatever. So many questions went through my head, so many scenarios. I was so scared. But it's still like, it was like my body was acting without my brain. Because as I'm thinking all these thoughts, I'm still getting in touch with the taxi. It's like something else took over, you know? So finally the taxi pulls up and they call and they say, hi, we're here. We don't see you. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I was hiding. I'll be right out. And walk out right past the guy that had been chasing me, and he's looking at me like, what the heck? And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I'm going, you know. And I run and get in the taxi. Mr. Manager, if you're watching, that was an abuse victim trying to run. Next time, maybe be helpful, because that's how you change the world. I get in the taxi driver understandably wants to know if I'm okay, which was a nice change. I told him no, but you're about to take me on my trip to freedom. And he said he was happy to do so. And I sat in the back of his car and cried. Whew, did I ever cry? I still want to cry right now. It's ridiculous. You cry for the what ifs, the could have beens, not for the what it was. And that's okay. Don't ever feel bad for it. It got me to the airport. I realized that the tiny little gun that I tend to carry around was in my tiny little bag that was so speeches for snacks. So I threw my tiny little gun into a bag that I bought. I had taken it completely apart because at the time I was just freaked out. I was just like, what do I do? How do I even take a gun on a plane? Like, and in reality, I worked with guns for 20 fucking years. I know exactly how you're supposed to do that. Like, why was this an issue? But when you're in shock and drama and all of this, you don't think properly. So I got my gun, checked in, all that kind of stuff. I called my best friend crying hysterically and told her that this was one of those moments where I just needed her to say yes and to drop whatever she had to do to help me. And she said, of course, baby. Because that's what she says every time. And I told her I was leaving him. And she was so happy. She was so happy. She just asked what time the plane lands.